everyone, it's Simplicity and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be doing a speed build, so this is Legacy Lane. So you can see that I already had the house built at the point that I joined in to actually filming because I didn't know exactly what I wanted, so I wanted to just kind of take my time with it, not stress myself out. And I didn't want this video to be incredibly long. So you're gonna see me try and like plan this out. I have 3 different patterns that I'm using. I've got white siding, stone, and then a brown kind of like vertical paneling kind of situation going on. And then you get to watch me fix the garage a bunch of times. Now, in the exported version, there is no weird line on the front of the house with the stone. So don't worry about that. I took probably, oh goodness, 5 days to build this house. And I wasn't in the mood to kind of like mess with it completely. So you will see me go in and I fix things and I work around but yeah, so I end up not having the weird thing in the front. I do fix it, I promise. You will see that later on. But I had a request from someone for a house, and it was like asking for one for a bigger family, and it was like a certain amount of kids, grandparents and parents, and I will pop that up on the screen. But that's kind of what this was inspired by. I was like, I kind of want to see what I can do. So that is exactly what we are doing. It does have a fair amount of custom content. It's nothing, I don't think it's too overwhelming. I tried to use in-game content where I could, but like obviously this stone is a custom content. I believe I found the link for it though. I don't know for sure that it is the exact one, but I'm pretty sure I found it. And then all my windows are in-game, I believe. Unless like the kitchen window. The kitchen window might not be. It might be a piece of custom content. I don't remember. But this is like I think it's a 7 bedroom, 4.5 bathroom house. Like it's pretty big. It does have, I think, an extra bedroom than what was needed, which you can turn into like a game room or something like that, because you will see I left the bedrooms upstairs empty. So they're kind of just like a fresh slate, and it was honestly just because I was like, I don't know the dynamics of the family that, that this is in mind for. So I was like, I feel like it makes more sense for me to go ahead and leave them blank and let them be able to fill it in themselves. So that is exactly what I did. And if that's annoying, I'm sorry. But I thought that made the most sense, so that was what we went with. And then we picked out the stone coloring. We put some stairs into the front. I don't know, I actually do quite like this house, and I feel like I did pretty good landscaping wise, which is something different for me. We all know landscaping's not my favorite. I did go with a different, front porch fencing out here to make it look like the roof's being held up, because I felt like that was needed. And then, I don't know, this house is kind of very black and white on the inside, and it wasn't on purpose, it was just kind of how it worked out. But then we hopped in to do some landscaping. I filled the garage in, and then we went ahead and I made some little like dirt paths here. I kept it kind of more on the natural side, but I did use these. And I think these are from Lucky Palms? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're Lucky Palms. And then I also use these trees from Into the Future to kind of map everything, and I don't think I've ever done that before, but I liked it. I thought it kind of made it look a little bit more cohesive. You'll see, I think I end up changing some things and I add some lights in, and obviously as I go, things are gonna get changed, and that is exactly what happened with this house. But in the end, I do quite like it. I thought it was quite cute. But yeah, I thought this kind of little landscaping thing was cute. I don't know. There was something about it that was just very pleasing to me. And then I put a bench out here, and then I put some wall ivy up The wall ivy is from the store. There is also some store content in here. So if you don't have it, no big deal, but I liked the wall ivy outside. I thought it broke it up quite nice. And then we went in and we added a fence. My game did crash at one point of me doing this. It was like shortly after I finished my landscaping, and I went to save and it was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that, we're crashing instead. So things might not be in the exact same spots as what you are currently seeing them. I added this giant tree. I think it's a store tree, but I liked it. I thought it added some interest to the front yard. And then I looked around for some trees for the backyard. I removed the one on the right, and I actually made it a tree house. So I was like, I want there to be some stuff for the children, so that's what we went with. And you'll see me kind of move things around, plan things out. And, I don't know. But yeah, it's like as soon as I finish everything on the outside is when my game was like, yep, we're not doing this, we're closing. And then I called it a night and I came back to it the next day because I was like, I just need a break. And it sucks whenever you lose all of that stuff. But like, thankfully I remembered what I did, so it worked out okay. And then I added some flooring in here to kind of be able to figure out what I was doing with like certain areas. So that's what this is me mapping out rooms. And then I realized that I was missing some foundation over here, so I fixed that. And I was debating on a different floor for the kitchen. I add these lights in just to kind of give me some lighting. They don't stay like this. I add debug lights. So that's what is mainly in this room. But as soon as I finished all of this, this is about to be where my game crashed. So I went in and I did all of the rest off camera, but yeah, you can see my game is like, nope. So here we are back at the floor, and I just tried to keep it pretty much the same. I tried to kind of recolor and add some interest. I use this tile, which I actually do know the link for, so I can at least provide that. If I will try and link as much CC as I possibly can for this build, but like feel free to completely change things up the way that you want them to be. There's no set, anything with the house. As long as like, I don't know, just don't really upload it. Don't give credit to anybody else, like that kind of thing. But I like this house. It was a lot of fun. What did I do here for a window? Did I go with a custom content one? No, I don't think I did. Okay. That might be a store one, but I don't believe it's a custom content one. And then we put together this little fake little island situation going on because I needed something. I don't know, I felt like it made the space a little bit better, so we recolored that. And then I added in the cabinets, went in and recolored them. I don't know why, but I was loving this kind of like light brown color, and then I added in a dishwasher, of course. We cluttered up the area a little bit. It's nothing too intense. And then we went in with bar stools. I actually used the ones from Pets. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to add something in that's a little fun, so we went with some cow print. And then we added a cute little runner in here, and that was about it for the kitchen. Pretty simple. There's not a whole lot that I needed to really do in this situation, which is nice. I cluttered it up just a smidge, but I just wanted to make it look, lived in, and that was kind of what I was going for anyways, so that's what we did. And then I added a plant on top because, I needed to. I don't know, it was bothering me, and then I forgot that I didn't add that back in, so I fixed that. What else did I do? Oh, I added these lights above for a little bit of interest, and I went with the white ones. And then we painted the rest of the walls white in here. And then this is me going in and adding in flames and I guess like arches. I was gonna say like door frames, but here we are just changing the colors of the doors and making everything black and white because I don't know, I feel like it looks a bit more classy and I didn't want everything to be just, wood toned. So then I added flooring up here as well to certain rooms, of course. And then I changed the dimness on that light because I wanted it to be a little bit dimmer. We added a plant. But yeah, so this was probably one of the biggest houses I've done in a while. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't typically do big houses because I just don't have time for them, which in my opinion kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little busy with work that I don't have a whole lot of time, but it was kind of nice to know exactly what I was going to be doing with my downtime. But you will see that I definitely had a little bit more energy for the bottom half of the house compared to the top. Uh, Top I get a little bit lazy with, but like I also kind of reached a point where I was like, okay, well the rest of these rooms can be a little bit more generic, whereas bedrooms I feel like they're typically a little bit, personal. So it was a little bit tough to do those. I added in a couple of baby chairs. I don't know if they were needed, but I thought they made good use of the space. I hated the different looks of the tiles in here. I tried so many and I was like, nope, I'm going back to the wood. And then I think I added another rug over here to try and break it up. That's one thing about this house. I think I maybe made it a little bit too big for like awkward space and trying to clutter it up. So that's on me. Because I was like, I don't know what to put in these spots. And then I matched this. I did the cow print over on these two. And then I changed the wood for the floor. Because I knew that I had it in here. It is an in-game wood that I'm using on the floor, so I don't know, I like it. I've used it quite a bit. And oh, I was adding a little bit of interest with the white there. That's what I did. And then we came over here. This is the dining room. Not saying that your Sims are going to automatically, work their way over here whenever we have the bar stool situation going on, but yeah, this is the dining room. You can see that I added the bite-a-bug lights in by this point. And this bothered me. I made the room an awkward length that I didn't know what to do with it. Because I was like, oh, I can just put a bunch of china cabinets. Nope, that didn't work, and I don't like overlapping them. So I just went with this mirror and that foyer table from the store. And I thought it was kind of a nice way to break it up. Unfortunately, it did take me a little bit to find said table, but I guess that happens when I have all of the store content in my game, so I guess that's probably why. And then I recolored those and we called it a day. Oh, I added some artwork, of course, because I needed a little bit of something and some plants and a curtain. I think I went with my favorite curtains. I did. Absolutely my favorite custom content curtain by far. I used them multiple times in this house. So you will see those quite often. And then we added more plants, which is not a surprise to anybody because I'm definitely someone that when I'm like, okay, when in doubt, adding a plant and a painting. And that's how that goes. So this is the half bath. I felt like I needed one of those downstairs at least. I know that it's technically off the kitchen and a lot of people hate that, but I didn't know where else to put it and I didn't want it to interfere with the other two of the dining room, so I was like, okay, this works, and I feel like it's not super close to the kitchen, plus it's a Sims, so I'm not gonna complain about it too much by any means, but I cluttered a little bit. I added toilet paper, some towels, soap, and a candle, and that was kind of about it. And then we hopped in over here. This was meant to be a pantry, and I was like, I'm turning into a wine room. So we added in the wine stuff, we added in a painting, changed the painting over, and then I also recolored that one, and that was all I did for that room. And then this is a bathroom. It's attached to one of the bedrooms, which is the one bedroom that I actually did decorate. I had grandparents in mind for this one, so that was kind of where I was at. And we used this cute little rug here, and then I don't know, I felt like this was a good spot to kind of separate and make good use of the space. So the toilet doesn't end up staying in there, it comes out here. but the shower's in another room. So I don't know, I felt like that was kind of nice. And then we went with a kind of blue wall, and it took me forever to find the bed I wanted. I wanted this one because I was like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of coastal and it's cute and it matches with the blue in here quite well. We changed the light to make it a blue, and then I added this over here too for a dresser. And of course, I'm like its grandparents. I feel like they would rather have family photos than anything else, so that was when I went in there to have those filled in at a later date, of course. And then curtain-wise, what did I do? I think I went with these ones. Or maybe I didn't. Because I didn't like the gap at the top, it was bothering me. What did I use? Oh, I just went with my normal ones. Okay. I mean, hey, that makes it easier for the CC list. But I just kind of cluttered this up a little bit. I wanted to put pictures up there so bad, but it wouldn't let me. This is your office space, and it's a little bit awkward, I'm not gonna lie. But I do make it better. I add in built-in bookshelves, and I think that kind of made the entire room, to be completely honest with you. So this is when I started doing that. I made this a little kind of half wall because I didn't know what to do with that little corner and I didn't want it. So I put these in here. I don't know, I didn't test to see if this build was functional before I exported it. I should have. I've done this with bookshelves before though, and it has worked in the past. So if there's anything that's not functional, switch it up, make it whatever is best for you, but just don't change the shell. That's kind of like my biggest thing. You can decorate it however you wish. I actually do have a fully blank interior version. I also have obviously this half decorated one that you're watching now, but there will be two versions. I just really do not want the shell to be changed and modified because I feel like it just kind of takes away, because then it's easier to credit other people or yourself, and I don't know. I just don't find that fair, but otherwise, you're free to do whatever you want inside. You can add to it if you wanted, but make the rooms your own. Do whatever. I'm pretty chill, but then I added in an easel to kind of just break up, and then I went with that because I was like, it kind of looks like it could be hand painted. And then this is the living room area. I went with the in-game L-shaped couch. I don't know. I don't know why that was what I was feeling, but it was. And then I made this just kind of the same brown tone, similar to the floor. Why did I do that? I don't know. But that's what we went with, and I just kind of cluttered it up, added some plants in here. This entire back half, so there is a chest set, but otherwise, it's kind of a little play area for the children. So I've got the costume chest, I've got the play table, I have a toy box, like it's just kind of a little area for them. And then I put a toy crate because I don't know, I typically have animals in my household. I don't know if everybody does, but I do, and I was like, that's kind of a good spot for that, so that's what we did. And then we went geometric in here and I liked it, so that was what we did, and I matched it on this side. And then I added a rug. I looked through, but I was like, I like this one. And then I added a mirror over here. It's white and pink. And then a painting, and I called it, and that was the downstairs. And then we hopped up here, so you can see I added in flooring. And we added in walls. I left the hallway blank deliberately because it's kind of a weird shape. So there's some rooms up here that were meant to be closets. I didn't make them big enough to function properly as a closet, so you can leave them as blank space, you can remove them, do whatever. But this is one of the bathrooms. This awkward long one, this is the laundry room. So I kind of had different plans for it going into this, but again, this took me multiple days. And then we had this one here, which is a full bath attached to a bedroom. And then this is a Jack and Jill. So we made the best of this how we could. We did a shower and a bathtub in here because it's a pretty big Jack and Jill. And then we did a bigger lamp and I moved bigger mirror, and I moved the toilet there. I cluttered it a little bit, and then I painted everything. That was about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually wrap this video up right here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, you can go ahead and hit that like button down below. Here's a beautiful picture of the house. You can see there's no longer that issue on the front for the garage, which is awesome. But again, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down below. If you want to see some more videos from me, go ahead and subscribe. I post 2 to 3 times a week right now. Download links are in the description for the shell and the decorated version. If you want notifications for when I post, hit that bell down below. Make sure that your YouTube notifications are turned on, and I will see you all in my very next video. Bye, lovelies!